Hi, Jerht Santos here of the Coach PH. Remember to click the subscribe button to be updated with our latest videos. Hi everyone, today we have a special video. We're going to talk about the DDMP REIT. So we have a special guest today. His name is Carlos Leandro Felipe. I know him personally. He is a licensed financial advisor and an investment consultant. He has an extensive background in the capital markets for almost a decade. So let us welcome Carlos Leandro Felipe.
Hello, Jerht. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Carlos. Thank you for accepting my invitation. It's very timely because on March 10, the DDMP REIT will already start to be offered. So I have a few questions which I believe some viewers would also want to have an answer in. You're the first person that I thought of because the first ever REIT that came in the Philippines was a REIT. And I remember asking you, is it a good time to subscribe? I remember the IPO price was 27 pesos. When a REIT came out, the dividend yield was about 5%. And then I remember you telling me, pag bumaba yung price, dun papasok si Kaloy because the dividend yield will be higher at a lower price. And true enough, in hindsight, we saw a REIT drop from 27 to as low as 23. And those who bought at 23 are not just getting a 5% dividend yield. That would mean higher. I'm interested to know your thoughts for this second REIT and the first IPO in the country for this 2021. Number one is, do you think the IPO price is cheap, fair, or expensive, and why?
For DDMP, they ended up with 2 pesos and 25 centavos. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that prices are relative. So it does not mean that if something is worth 27 pesos and another offering is at 2 pesos, that the 2 pesos one is cheaper. Okay? It does not follow. A point to consider that price is relative. Relative to what? Relative to the whole company. How much is the whole company worth? The reason why DDMP right now is priced at 2.25, they are offering more shares than the Ayala REITs, okay, or Ayala REITs. Why I did not suggest that people buy initially an Ayala REIT before is that it was the first time that a real estate investment trust product was offered to the public. But there is still a price discovery factor that we need to put in place. And true enough, at that time as well, a 5% return is a bit low considering retail treasury bonds are actually at par with how much you're going to earn if you're going to hold a REIT before. Those are the things that we need to consider.
That's a good point, Carlos. Initially, when you look at the IPO price, one can think that 2.25 is very cheap compared to Ayala's 27, right? Now that people have an experience from Ayala REIT, would you say that 2.25 is justified? Is it just right? Is the 5% potential yield good enough?
A yield of 5.5% considering that the ongoing rate right now of the previous funds that was offered by the Philippine Republic at 2.375%. It's a pretty big difference for an investor standpoint. If you are just looking for recurring income, 5% is already a good deal. In terms of our current rates, it's a pretty fair price. What they plan to do with the amount of money that they're going to raise from the initial public offering, they're going to use to create warehouses and to improve the logistics here in the Philippines.
That's a good point, Carlos, no? That the landscape now with DDMP REIT is different. That brings me, Carlos, to the second question. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good idea to subscribe to the IPO? Or would it be better to just wait and see? You know, maybe establish a base, wait it out before you enter. What do you think about that?
Basically, the first REIT listed was pretty much a success considering if you are a long-hold investor. The market has an idea na how it actually works. In the current DDMP portfolio, their main flagship building, which is the DD Meridian Park in Pasay City, if you are comfortable owning a portion of the profits of that building, then yes, this is a good opportunity for you to buy and to invest in real estate investment trust. I would also suggest it for people who are looking into investing in real estate but don't necessarily have the capital to buy and sell or maybe rent out a place for you. It is easily convertible to cash when you need the money. If you don't need the money, you're going to earn dividends. So I think it's already a win-win for an investor like you.
So the third question, Carlos, is what would you you say to those who want to buy the stock because they believe in the Injap Effect? So just to give a background, DD, it's a multi-bagger from IPO price to where it is now. And then the second one was Meridian, from 1 to how much is it now? I'm sure some people would want to subscribe to this IPO because of the Injap Effect. Is it realistic to think of those kind of returns?
Basically, because we are still at the recovery phase of our economy, most of the price movements is actually sentiment driven. We are not seeing big multinational funds coming back here in the Philippines for some time. Most of the price action is actually retail driven. I think the Injap effect is going to be there. People are going to bank on it and people are going to play with it. But if you're an investor, you're just looking for recurring income and high dividend yielding stocks, not only is this a play, it can also be a good long-term hold. So in either case, it's a win-win as far as we can see it.
What should not be the reason for a person to trade or invest in this REIT?
One of the main reasons why you should not in this type of instrument is if you are a very conservative investor. Another thing that could actually hinder you from investing in this asset is if you do not understand the risk of your investments. This investment is not for you, is that if you need your money within a certain period of time, which is not long term, you may subject yourself to market price action. So meaning your initial of 2.25 pesos per share, you may not be able to sell it at 2.25 or higher at that moment when you need the money. And considering that this is a long-term investment, the cash that you are going to put in this investment is already allocated for a near-term need, then this investment might not be for you. You also need to align your investments with your goals as well. When do you need the money? How much will you be needing? And what certain amount of capital am I willing to forego for the future? So those are the things that you need to consider. Barring all of those things, and if your risk appetite, allows you to, and your funds allows you to, this particular investment is actually a good and a safe alternative rather than you just parking your money in the bank, earning next to nothing.
Thanks, Carlos. An investor or a trader should also know the risks involved with this investment. So viewers, we talked about both the reward and the risk when it comes to investing in DDMP REIT or REIT. If you have any questions in this video, please feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching. Click the subscribe button and see you on our next video. God bless you.